If you want to truly understand like a murid and English people, the one step that goes between them is just faith in Islam. But apart from that, like everything that you guys do is already the same that we're teaching us, you know, caring about people, caring about the jobless, caring about the needless, caring about how to help people in their everyday life.
Wow. Today is the day of Marshal Ibrahim Fall. Yeah, our spiritual leader. You know, the one like the Bible where he come from, you know.
So the Islam that people are seeing today in the media, it's not what is called Islam. It's not the real Islam.
What you see right now all over, like for example, the media, like jihad, you know.
So I have a couple of friends inside, and they told me about it today. Actually, they told me about it a couple of months ago. They told me they were organizing this, and I thought I'd come check it out, you know, show some little bit of support.
You want to see real Islam, you meet with people that has nothing to do with violence, you know. We do not, as you say, we don't even entertain it, to be honest with you. We don't entertain extremism, anything of such kind. It's not, there's no place for it.
So you're not Muslim yourself?
No, I'm not really practicing any kind of religion myself. Well, drill here, whoa. Just to see what really goes on behind the scenes. You get a lot of ideas from different media perspectives and all this kind of thing now about what Islam is. But before you come and really check it out yourself, you're never really going to know exactly what goes down behind closed doors.
When our spiritual leader was talking about jihad, he said about jihad to nafsu. Jihad to nafsu meaning like a human being. You don't talk about like harming other people. No. It's not like that. But the jihad is like a jihad, like to be on earth, like 2015 right now, and you have everything around, and you say no, God don't like this. I don't do it because God don't like this. Is what it means jihad for us. Like try like the pleasure God don't like, how you can live here and like stop that kind of pleasure. It's what it means for us here. Yeah, it's the most important, you know.
In Islam, you know, there are like the Prophet Muhammad taught us that Islam is made by three things. The first one is called Iman, which means faith. You must like to be a Muslim, you must believe in God, believe the Prophet, believe the angels, believe the revealed books, believe the prophets, all the prophets, and believe the decree of God. This is called Iman.
You can think higher is the philosophy, because when you think philosophy, you're never gonna believe God is happening. Because philosophy, I can think about in my mind right now, think about, oh, my mom and my dad, I was born in, and wake up, grow up, see a man and then woman, and I say them mom and dad. Is it I am 100% sure they are my mom and my dad? So I can get myself confused because I think too much, and you're not sure. You have to believe. That's the believer.
After we have Islam, which is the outward reality of Islam. So to pray, to do the Ramadan, go do the Hajj, pay the Zakat, and believe the God and the Prophet. We pray 5 times in a day. The first one is called Suba, and we pray like before the sunrise. After we have this one, the Sikar is like the first one is before the sunset. After we have one midday, one in the mid-afternoon. The fourth one will be after the sunset, and the last one will be nighttime. So we can say 2 hours, so 1 hour and a half after the sunset. So is that the way we do for remember God and remember why we are on earth, and which is the mission we have to perform, is just to remember God and to meditate and think about God. It's our way to do it. Yeah.
Serap Fall was the one who was keeping the people united. That's why they call him Lamp Fall. because it's like the light who guide the people to follow Serigne Touba.
But after we have something that is called ihsan. Ihsan means to make something perfect. It's a spiritual perfection, and this is what all the so-called Sufi people what they do. They follow the pure teaching of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ through the teaching of the spiritual leaders. You pledge allegiance to a spiritual leader that is kind of leading you back to God, and he teach you to purify yourself and help you in this wonderful way.
The correct teaching of Islam is all about peace, because the word Islam, it originated from an Arabic word, salam, which means peace. For us that we came from Senegal and Gambia, which is the Senegambian community we call ourselves, our teaching of Islam, we base it on the Sheikh. The Sheikh taught us the proper Islam, Islam of tolerance, to understand each other, to live with each other with peace and harmony without any fight or trouble. Because if you go into details into the Sheikh was taken away to exile for over 7 years by the French colonialism, but he's never fought them. He had, at that point in time, in the late 18th centuries towards the early 19th centuries, he had over 70,000 followers that followed him at that point in time. But he never asked any of his followers to fight against the French or to go and get weapons and fight against the French people.
So he was born in 1853 during the French colonial powers, and they had some kind of struggle because they thought at that time that Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba was trying to have a popular uprising against the power which was there, which wasn't the case. But as he was followed by millions of people around, that's why they fought that. So during his exile, in Gabon, 7 years exile, and then another 5 years in Mauritania, and also another 5 years in Chile. After that, they conciled him for 30 years in house arrest.
And yeah, they did horrible things to him, There's many histories you can find about him.
As you can see, I don't know if you've seen the little boy, the kids there, they were reciting the poems of the Sheikh. And then there will be grown-ups as well. Some adults later will do the same thing.
Hasida or Hasaid is what they are singing now. They can sing it or they can read it. It's also written in Quran, the same language like the Quran, but he did that like to help the people to understand Quran.
Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, like he is a Muslim Sufi, what we call in Islam tasawwuf, which is what we believe to be the heart of Islam, because it's what enables you to clear your heart in order to worship Allah properly. So that was the main goal of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba in Senegal. So during his time, he was trying to educate his people about Islam, educate his people about peace, educate also his people about the inner worship of Islam. That's why during his exile, he's written like more than 7.5 tons of these poems, these hasaid. That's incredible. 7.5 tons. Like just 1 ton, you can have like 20,000 books. 7.5, and each of them, it doesn't actually relate what he was put through, because the main goal of the French power was there to execute him. We actually got like the documented archives from the French colonial powers.
Even when he came back from his exile, he then says to his followers that I forgive all these people that took me away from my family for 7 years.
So that was their aim. But they didn't succeed, because Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, many miracles happen. In many times they tried to kill him, and many times they tried even to put him at the public shooting. But during all of this, he kept writing his love for the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, writing his vision about Islam, and writing about the inner soul of Islam. During his time, most of them were not seen. It was just after that most of it came out. But what we found was 7.5 tons of these. And you have them in different tones, in different ways to chant them. He actually says that he heard the angels themselves doing it this way. That's what they're using right now. The first aim is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The second one, you have to clean your heart. Like, hearts can be ill as well, because the main illness in your heart in Islam, it can be riya'u, meaning that you're doing things for people to see. You do not care about Allah, you just want people to see you do it. And that's not the main aim of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba. That's why when you recite the hasaid, when you learn them, it actually cleans your heart of all those kind of impurities. That's the second aim. And the third aim is as well just to please Sheikh Ahmad Bamba, just to please Allah, that we are actually chanting the glory of Islam, the glory of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's why every time we meet, first we started with the Quran. You know, we divide in 30 parts and distribute it to anyone present, and we read the whole Quran. Sometimes 1, sometimes 2, sometimes 4. After that, we take the Hasaid, which are truly devoted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet, so that people will have their hearts cleansed, you know. And after that, we can talk about remembering ourselves of the life of Sheikh Ahmad Bamba first, and then about Islam, what's the state of Islam, how we should behave as Muslims, how should we be integrated as Muslims.
And then again, you'll have the biophiles as we came in early on this morning. This afternoon we did the chantings, you know, and the biophiles will do the same thing again. And then we'll have someone else who's going to talk about the Sheikh and Sayyid Ibrahim, who I told you earlier on, you know, is the leading disciple of Sheikh Ahmad Bamba Khadim Rasool. The gentleman is, so he's just gone. They took him somewhere to have something to eat, and he's gonna come back. And as for everyone that's gathered here today, in front of everybody, he's gonna be our leader. He's our spiritual leader for today. Definitely, he's gonna be the leader for all the brothers that are here today.
They call us like a Baifal, like a, you know, like a disciple. The disciple coming from like a Sheikh Ahmad Bamba and Mam Sheikh Ibrahim Fall. You know, yeah, is where we come from, you know, and very like happy to be like, you know, Baifal, you know, and Baifal meaning all the time doing good things and give up bad things. This is what you mean Baifal.
So it's an aesthetic life.
Yeah, you know, work as you never die, but pray as you die tomorrow. This is Baifal. Work and pray. Work and pray.
It's kind of, you know, the living with purity, you know, trying to do always good things and to do what you say. Because I mean, it's easy to talk, but after when it comes to do something, it's not that easy, you know.
You are on earth, you need like to feed yourself or your family, you know, people around you, you can help her, you do it, you know, but the praise for the next life.
So to us, it's him who's here. That's our spiritual leader who just come in. And the way we have to receive him is just like when a royalty here in England, you got the Queen coming in or something. He is more than that to us. So that is the reason why the reception we have to give him. We show him that without you, it wouldn't be us doing this today. So it's more so like to give thanks back to him.
When you look at the history of Sheikh Ahmad Bamba, you have to practice in order to understand. It's not only reciting the Hasaid or reciting the Quran, but you have to practice it. When you practice it, where you get the knowledge. And when you get the knowledge, you spread it. And Sheikh Ibrahim, we're celebrating him today because he was the main follower of Sheikh Ahmad Bamba who opened the doors for everyone. So we're just following. So that's it. His teaching is just a kind of example and actions, practical, that we following in order to reach the level of worshipping that is required by the Sheikh.
La ilaha illallah, fa la ilaha illallah, fa nuru la ilaha illallah, man talagur yalla ilaha.
Baifal sing cigar, la ilaha la illallah, without la ilaha la illallah.
What does this mean?
This is the name of God. That is like a connection between you and God. Like when you sing that.
Can you tell me what
Well, this one like is they sing like the name of God, because the Bible like they don't sing like a nice woman or this or that, but they sing more like the name of God, you know. La ilaha illallah. Yeah. Is what they sing, you know. And that song like you know, La ilaha illallah is very powerful song, you know.
La ilaha illallah Muhammadu ya Rasulullah Falbatu la ilaha illallah Faltalagur ya la ilaha.
When you singing, give you like a greatness and open your heart, you know, and clean your heart, you know. It's different from the music you listening, you know. Yeah.
So it's not just for God; it's also for you to bring that closer to you.
Yeah. You get, when you're singing, you get more closer to God, you know. The more you sing, the more you, it's like a purification inside your heart, you know. It's why the Bible is like La ilaha illallah is something like very strong for them, you know, because of the name of God, you know.
You know these people from this country that when they I think they are also Muslim and they do like this.
Yeah. Whirling
and they connect with God when they do that, and they like it's like an ecstasy. So for us, when we say La ilaha illallah, you will say later, it's like something like that.
They say in Wolof language, ham moy ilimanu jef. That means you have to understand first before you worship. If you don't know God, don't waste your time. Don't worship, because you're not going to get there. Do you understand that? It's part of the religions.
And there's something to be said that you can't just know him through language, because that's a human.
Yes. The translation might be different. You go to Saudi Arabia, they have their own interpretation of the Quran. You go to Iran, they have their own interpretations. You go to Senegal, they have their own interpretations. Obviously, the cultural aspects will have impact on that. But the most important thing is how you read things, how you understand. The practical side is very important. You know, these people, how the way they dress, the way they behave is quite different. If you take it to Saudi Arabia, it might look the difference. It might look different, but when you look at the principle and the spirit, they're the same.
The clothes that they're wearing.
Yeah. I mean, I know you've got white, there's a few people with white and black and then multicolored.
Let's explain you. You know, you wear clothes with different colors. It's a piece of materials. He was taking the small materials and doing it by himself, trying it by himself, make sure that it becomes its clothes. He's not spending money, he's taking clothes, piece of material everywhere and put it together, and this is the reason why you see these colorful clothes. This is where it's come from. So it just kind of savings, kind of being humble, simple, even if the way you dress. You don't need to wear expensive clothes to be a follower of Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba. Whatever you see in life, you can use him as an example.
You are here in England, you know, okay, when people see you, they think you are Rasta or coming from Jamaica, you know, but we are from Senegal. Yeah, because of the dread, you know. The dread, like he's coming like from our spiritual leader, you know, because Mamsha Ibrahim Fall, when he was working for Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, he haven't the time to go to the mirror to be charming, nice. No. Because he was dedicated all this life for the work of God and for Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, you know. Then like the hair start to grow, you know, and like that hair is growing is that like what the Bible mean, like anybody can't build Mamsha Ibrahim Fall, but like we try to, you know, by the clothing, you know, to looks like.
So to try to remember him and his way.
Yeah. All the time, you know. Yeah, happy to be Bible, you know. Really, you know.
You mentioned the dreadlock.
Yeah.
What's the sign people?
No. Like if you see the name of Allahu is the name of God. Like when you're writing in Arabic words, he give you like that.
Can you hold out?
No, like when you hold it like that, in Arabic, you have Allahu, and Allahu is the name of God. Is why you see the Baifal always like making this sign, like you know, because well, everything is God on, like everything they live. Wow, it's God things, you know. Yeah. This sign represent like the name of God. Yeah, Allahu. You know, yeah. That's what.
They see human as a representation of God. So we have kind of, you know, divine people in like experiencing a body, you know, experiencing in this life. But we come from God, we can go back to God. So it's what they are really living, and they always, you know, they are very open people. They see like any human being is worth of love.
I am Jaifal. So Jaifal and Baifal in general terms, like we don't pray like them Allahu Akbar, we don't pray like that. For us, like working hard is a way of praying, because our work is praying for God. So while they are like praying there, like singing Hasidah, learning Quran and everything, like normally we are going to be working. You see like the people who is bringing the coffee, the food and everything, Baifal should do this job.
Jollof rice is our African traditional food.
If you don't eat fast, they're going to eat everything. Just eat fast. Yeah.
Which most countries around West Africa claim to be coming from their countries, mainly Nigeria and Ghana. But believe me, I can tell you it's from Senegal or Gambia. The reason it's called Jollof is because those two countries, before colonialism, they were called Senegambia. So you can understand. And the traditional official language in Senegal, the official language there is French. But the traditional, the world-known language that pretty much everyone, like let's say 60 or 70% of Senegalese speak in Senegal is called Wolof. So, and then we call the town or Senegal itself as Jollof. So Jollof rice came from Senegal. So that's where Jollof rice comes from.
And it's good.
It is a very beautiful. I hope you enjoy it. You'll love it. Believe me, it is a lovely food.
We pray only with the clothes, we say la ilaha la ilaha. We can pray like the rest of the people, but normally we should work and work hard, work every day, dedicate everything to Serin Tuban, Serafal and Yala. You see this guy with this patchwork clothes that is sitting has a big necklace made of wood.
Yeah.
So this is like we call it cruz. So we pray with that. We count it. For Baifal we say la ilaha la ilaha.
A couple of prayers going on. Everybody came together to eat. We had big trays of food in the middle of a few groups of us, and everyone's eating together. You know, very kind of communal, very happy feel to everything. You know, very comfortable. They make you feel very comfortable, and nobody's really an outsider once you go inside a place like this.
And I think like you guys can benefit a great lot with it. Trust me.
If you want to find out more about the Murid Brotherhood or about the Baifals, you are more than welcome to ask the brothers who lives in Brighton here or the ones in London. We got a Facebook page, we got contact numbers that you can contact people, they will tell you more about it. If you put Serin Touba on the internet or you just Google it, it will give you more information about Touba as in the city in Senegal. And then if you put say Ibrahima Fall, which is the Baifals leader, it will give you more information. There's lots of information on the internet these days. Thank God that we have the internet.